My name's Derek Klegraefe, and I've driven over my Volkswagen 2-liter swapped classic Mini Cooper. Ooh, so it wasn't like something I wanted to do intentionally. It was more like, yeah, it was my friend's Volkswagen Mark IV Golf. We got into a car accident, and it was like totaled, but like the whole running gear, the engine, everything was like still good. And like I thought, like, what if we could fit that in the Mini, you know? So like, got the motor out, I put it in my dad's shed. I put this car like right up to the front of like the motor, and I was like, I think I could fit. And then it just kind of like went from there. I built like a whole front subframe and just went from there. Like, I already had the Mini, and it was already like just a stock motor inside it, running, driving just fine. I would have kept it the way it was, but I had the opportunity to do that, so I went for it. Ooh, probably right out of high school. I was 18. I got into Jeeps. I had a Jeep XJ Cherokee, and my friend had a Jeep, and then we lifted them up, put big tires on, we went mudding, you know, and we bought a welder, and we just started welding everything we could. Made bumpers, like rockers, roof racks, the whole 9 yards, and then like from there it just went on. But I always had a soft spot for classic Minis. I saw one time in Cumberland, Rhode Island, when I was probably like 10 or 11. I saw it with my dad. I was like, one day I'm gonna have one of those cars. And then the opportunity, like, it came about probably 8 years ago. So I got my first classic Mini about 8 years ago, maybe 9. And it went from there. It is not. Okay. This would be the second Mini. It was just a shell when I bought it. So I've probably had this shell probably 6 years, and I had it fully built, like stock, whatever. When I did the motor swap, that probably took, it was less than a year. It didn't really take that long. I would just like at it like every day after work. It's not really done yet, to be honest. I'm still kind of like working on it, but. That would be the drive side axle. It's only like this big. I had to cut and splice a Volkswagen axle to a Mini axle. And like, if you could see where like the CV joint is to where it bolts the transmission, it's like that big. It's so tiny, and I'd like splice it in, and like without, like when I welded it, I can't melt like the rubber boots, you know? So that was a challenge. I did that 3 or 4 times. Getting that right length was like nearly impossible. I couldn't find anyone to make the axles for me. Well, there was one guy that was gonna do it, but that never went through. Like 7 months later, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it myself. So I had another machinist made up these couplers, and I just spliced them in like nice and tight and just welded the seams. And that's pretty much it. It's balanced for the most part. It doesn't really wiggle or anything. Oh, so there's like one episode of Rick and Morty when Rick, the grandpa, he just turns himself into Tiny Rick, and he goes to school. And, you know, fucking Tiny Rick, you know? And I just thought it'd be funny to make a Mini Rick, you know, a mini car, a Mini Cooper. She's trying not to laugh. I know it. Yeah, it was just like a spur of the moment thing, you know? I was at my buddy's house, and we were just watching Rick and Morty, and I was like, yo, what if we just made a Mini Rick, Mini Cooper, you know? And it just kind of like evolved from there. Yeah. So I made the stencil, I put it on the hood, I painted it all in. And now it's just Mini Rick, you know? It's like, if you're familiar with the show, like Rick's like, he's a builder, like he just makes everything out of nothing. Like a Frankenstein thing, you know what I mean? So basically it's like a Frankenstein car, and I thought like it would fit like his name like perfectly. Everything you see on this car is completely all done for me. You know, nothing, no help from nobody. Little odds and ends, but 95% of the car is just all me in my dad's shed. This was built in my dad's shed. My favorite part is just going to be the motor swap, because no one's never done a Volkswagen motor in a Mini, as far as I know. I cannot find one anywhere online. Everybody does the Honda VTEC swaps, or like the Hayabusa motors, Vauxhall motors, I think they do. But those are all kits. Like no one really has this, and this was affordable too. It didn't cost much to do. It was just me playing in my dad's shed and just eyeballing everything, building everything just to make something out of nothing. My favorite part is anything to do with grinding metal, cutting metal, welding metal. Bodywork wise, not really into that, but I love just doing structural things like with tubing, welding and whatnot. My favorite part was just building the roll cage and the front subframe. I don't machine or anything, but welding and grinding wise, it's just me hands-on, just tinkering in my dad's shed. That's how I grew up doing that. Never took a course or anything. I just love to tinker. There's a lot of mess ups, but just redo it, grind it down, redo it. But I've been doing that for like almost 20 years now. No. Probably not 16, 15 years. We'll say 15 years I've been doing like fabrication work. Now, like each year I'm like learning more and more, you know. But I can only learn so much with the tools that I have. Not theme-wise, but I'm really big on Project Binky. I learned a lot from them guys. Like, I've been watching them for 6 years, and they're still like building their Mini. It's unbelievable. Just driving them, you know, just driving them, going up and down wavy roads. Like that's my favorite. Windy roads is my favorite thing, and just having a car that can handle like that. It's just like a go-kart. It's so fun. Like these, it drives like a go-kart, so you can just go boop, 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 boop. It's great. Yeah, so it's just it's a 67 Classic Mini. I'm just doing a bike motor, an R1 Yamaha bike motor. It's motor's in the front, but it's rear-wheel drive, so I'm running a prop all the way to the back, and I've only seen it done like 2 or 3 times, and I haven't really seen specs on it, but I figured I'd give it a go. So that's absolutely what I want to do. So it's going to be sequential drive, you know, first gear forward, 5 back, no reverse, and it's just going to be a monster, you know. I'm just going to tear up the street with it, you know, have fun with it, and see what it does, what it can and cannot do. Oh, BMX for sure. Been BMXing, well, riding bikes since 9 or 10. I'm 30 now, so 20 plus years been riding bikes, and they go hand in hand. They absolutely do. Other than that, I do like to just build stuff out of metal, whatever I can. I get like crazy ideas and I build it, you know. I have a little scrap pile of like these weird pieces of metal and stuff, and I keep them like old axle parts, weird metal things. And I made this really like sick camera, like out of like these weird bits. They came out really cool. Benchworks, Project Binky for sure. I couldn't like got this far without them. Like watching them do it, like they make everything seem possible when it doesn't seem possible. Oh, that would be, I do Instagram, that'd be @Klegraefe, Klegraefe. I also have a YouTube channel, it's Mini AF, Mini as fuck. That's the whole build with the R1 Classic I'm working on. There's nothing really on YouTube about this car, but that's kind of how you can find me. Facebook too, but I don't really use that. Mainly Instagram would be the way to go if you want to contact me. I mean, I'd like to get back into the Volkswagen scene. I had a Volkswagen before, but it was nothing like crazy. And I would like to get back into Jeeps, like where I grew up. Like that's what I grew up like doing was Jeeps, but there's just nowhere to go off-roading anymore. But I left my friends hanging because they still Jeep, but I can't do it no more. But if I was to build another car, it'd probably just be another Mini. Probably would. I'm just gonna stick with these. They're fun.